You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
Ron Magill joins us now, and it's fitting that yesterday, and to start today, Mike, we were talking about circumcised and uncircumcised penises, because this animal that Ron Magill created that was now stuffed and sitting in a place that the cameras can't see it at the moment, but it looks like a botched circumcised wiener with hands is what it looks like to me.
And we're back.
So
what kind of wieners are you doing?
I'm trying to.
And we're back.
I would like to go ahead and get an explanation from Ron, because I was not here when this animal was built.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not what it looks like to me. You're coming from a sad place there, brother.
Are you talking about the penis or the animal?
The animal doesn't look like a butt circumcised. It looks like a great white shark head with harpy eagle talons, a massive tail. No, that's exactly what it looked. That's the killer beast, man.
Okay, I mean,
beautiful.
I would call it a killer beast
really?
as well.
You're
what about now?
Your penis looks like the head of a great white shark? That's pretty incredible.
If they botched the surgery, then yes, it would have looked like that, yes. Ron, I was reading about a wallaby that was found in Coney Island, and they created a little place for him to live because they were expecting more. I'm curious as to why you would think they're expecting more, and I'm guessing this is just part of people wanting to buy these exotic animals, because I don't know who these folks are. Like if I ever walked into somebody's house and they had a pet kangaroo, I would freak out.
Yeah, wallabies are not a terribly uncommon pet, unfortunately. Really? Okay. As a matter of fact, I remember Gloria Stefan had some down here for a while that she loved and she took very good care of. But generally speaking, they are not an animal that I would ever recommend as a pet. But again, people look at kangaroos and wallabies, which are just kind of a smaller form of a kangaroo, and they have them. Just because they found one doesn't mean they should expect more. Now, normally in the wild, they are found in groups called mobs. But in Coney Island, I don't expect that there are mobs that exist. That was probably an individual's pet that escaped, and that's where they got it.
Gotcha.
How often are you fooled by the internet, Ron?
In the beginning, I think, a couple of years ago, I was fooled a lot.
Yeah.
And then when some of the more ridiculous stuff came out and I saw some of this AI stuff and I saw some of the stuff that they're able to create, with computer-generated images, I'm not fooled anymore. I look at it and say, wow, that's really good work. But, when I see a woolly mammoth walking in Manhattan, I don't believe that really exists.
So Ted Cruz got fooled by a viral photo that fools people often. And by the way, I think that it's become a Mandela effect that Dan was ever fooled by this. I truly don't think Dan was ever fooled by the shark on the highway. But Ron, were you ever fooled by the shark on the highway, or the shark in the mall, or the great white shark eating the dude diving from a helicopter? Has the internet ever gotten you the way that it got Ted Cruz?
Not like that. No, those shark images are the ones that I tend to, see through right away, because they're very easy to Photoshop and to duplicate and to create these false images. So anytime you see fish in water and stuff like that, those are very easy to, manipulate in the way you want to fit your narrative.
But hypothetically speaking, if Los Angeles did become flooded next to the Pacific Ocean and the water was that high, would a great white shark take a dalliance into downtown Los Angeles?
I am not going to say that's impossible, Mike, but keep in mind that great white sharks tend to stay in pretty deep water. They will occasionally come up to the shoreline, of course, when we have these surfer encounters that we've heard about. But, I would say maybe a smaller shark, but not something like a great white shark.
Ron, sad news down here with Lolita the Killer Whale dying just days before being released from Miami's aquarium into the wild. At her age, how would she have fared in the wild?
I want to be honest with you. We discussed this on the show before. The analogy I use is this. This is an animal that for the overwhelming majority of her life, over 5 decades, has been kept in a horrific tank under terrible conditions. No question about that. But to think that you can just take her and bring her to the wild, even to a sea pen, what they were talking about, would have been so psychologically traumatic for that animal. Not to mention the physical challenges. You know, the ocean has a bunch of pathogens that she has not been exposed to growing up in that pretty much sterile tank. We as kids, you know, we're exposed to things as kids, and we grow up and we build up these antibodies, these immunities to those things as we're exposed to them. You know, I've used this analogy before. I go to Africa. If I drink the water in Africa, I will be pooping through a needle for 3 weeks. If these kids drink the water who live there, have raised there, they can drink the water and they seem to be okay because they built up a resistance. So the psychological trauma of removing her from this place, it's like if you take a kid that's been illegally or horribly, wrongly taken away from his family and put into a padded room, as cruel and horrible as it is, and raised in a padded room all of his or her life, right? And then all of a sudden they say, this was wrong, we couldn't do this. Let's take this kid and let's put him out into civilization now. Think about the mental trauma that's going to happen to this kid. And I know there are people who have said, oh, listen, but her family is going to recognize her right away, and they're going to take her in, and she's going to know the language. Again, folks, human beings are pretty smart animals, so to speak, at least most of them. If you take a child, right? Let's take a child out from their family, let's say in Cambodia, bring them to the United States when they're 2 years old. And you raised them with a family in the United States, 2 years old, for 50 years. At 52, you're going to send them back to Cambodia. Let me ask you something. Do you think the mother of that person is going to recognize that person and say, that's my child? That's my child. Do you think that child who has only spoken English all of his or her life, going back to Cambodia, is going to say, oh, my language, I recognize it. What, am I going to start speaking the language? No. Let's use some common sense here. I am not negating the fact that what was done to that killer whale was horrific. It was horrific. It should never, ever happen again. But 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I think it would have been horrifically traumatic for that animal to be moved out there with all the good intentions. People with their hearts are thinking. I understand that, and I support that good intention. But the reality is it would have been catastrophic, in my opinion.
Let's just clarify something for the record. If humans are kidnapped and sequestered, they should be reunited with their families after, correct? Like, you don't think that they should stay captive
Very
because
important.
it'd be hard for them to be reacclimated into society?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now you can go, Greg.
I had a follow-up question because you're obviously very passionate about what happened to Lolita. What should be the repercussion of this? Should there literally be a law against the life she was made to live? I
believe so. Yeah, I do believe so. That is horrific to me. It was, really, it was just animal cruelty to me. You can't have such a large, intelligent being sequestered in such a small pen for her entire life, doing what she did. Again, I think, when the people did that long ago, they didn't know better. And I think the people who cared for her were trying to do the best they could to care for her. But at the end of the day, it was the wrong thing. So we can never let that happen again.
Ron, looking at a photo here, and we have some, if you could put it up, of a 2-headed snake. It's in the Waco, Texas, the Cameron Park Zoo. Supposedly also has 2 brains. Tell me more about this snake, and are there any more 2-headed animals just kind of hanging around zoos? Yeah,
2-headed reptiles are more common than what you would see in, like, say, 2-headed mammals. And I don't think I've ever seen a 2-headed bird. But I have seen some 2-headed mammals. They live, generally speaking, much shortened lives. But 2-headed reptiles can live quite a long life. I've seen that in turtles and snakes very commonly. And they have independent minds. They share a lot of the internal organs, but they seem to deal pretty well. I remember raising a 2-headed ball python for years that survived pretty well. In the wild, sometimes it's more of a challenge, but under human care, the person caring for the snake can make sure that it's getting fed. And since it usually shares the stomach, it doesn't matter which head eats. Sometimes one is more dominant than the other, but it does occur. It's just basically a Siamese twin in an animal.
It's like a Matt Damon, Greg Kinnear situation.
Oh, yes. Wow.
Hey,
good one.
Roy over there with
Ron,
the reference.
Ron, there used to be a show called Cat Dog. Is that possible?
Ooh.
No.
Well, let me explain to you further how the show worked. It was one animal. On one side was the head of a dog, and on the other side was the head of a cat. Now you get it? Is that possible?
And they shared the same body, maybe same stomach. A lot of the things you just mentioned.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, that would be an absolute negative there, Billy. Sorry about that. That's after a very good night of drinking and whatever hallucinogenics.
Have you tried it, though, Ron? Are we sure?
Positive.
Okay.
Ron, the biggest Burmese python in the world was recently captured, clocked in at 19 feet, and it was caught last month by hunters in Big Cypress Reserve down here in South Florida. Is this the proper way, and we're going to show the video here in a second, to trap a python?
Yeah, I can't see. Oh, there it is. Well, that's not the way you would trap a 19-foot python.
I've done that
one there
before.
is probably about 10 feet max. But no, you would not do that like that. No.
Is he trying to choke him there? Is that what he's doing?
No, he's just trying to keep him from biting him. But, at least he's not doing it alone. You would never go after a snake that large by yourself because the snake's going to wrap around. Now, granted, these guys are doing something here for a little dramatic enhancement. It was not as dramatic as they made it look there. But the bottom line is, you want to, of course, grab the head right behind the neck. But a snake the size that you're describing would immediately wrap around you and pretty much incapacitate your arms and slowly but surely suffocate you to death, and you would probably die. So you would never want to do anything like that with a snake alone.
I should probably know this, but what is the end game for these guys in particular? They just seem to be wrapping up the mouth, and what are they doing? They're not keeping the python.
I think they get rewards.
Generally speaking, all those snakes get euthanized. They sell the skins, and all those snakes get euthanized.
Doesn't South Florida also have an open hunting season on these invasive animals in which they can actually cash rewards?
Yes, they have the python hunt, the annual python hunt, where the winners get footballs made out of python skins and things like that, all kinds of trophies. And there's cash rewards too. So there's a lot of incentive. The only problem I have with that is sometimes you get people, coming down from like the Carolinas and Tennessee and Michigan to come hunt pythons, and they're not familiar with the Everglades and the kind of habitat that these animals are found in. And you get people get hurt, get stranded, and have to be rescued. So there's a lot of danger to that. It's not just like a big rodeo like people think.
I feel like this is where we tell people to donate to Ron's substantive endowment, which I believe Mike is holding up at the moment. No?
Yeah. Is your endowment circumcised?
No, we like to keep everything in the endowment whole.
Wow.
I'm reading into that answer. I'm going to mark you down as a no.
Wow.
How'd the surgery go?
Ron, see Cat Dog? Look, see that? You tell me that's not possible?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, now I got it. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I'm all for that.
I knew it.
Hey, it's Roy from the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. U.S. Cellular knows how important your kids' relationship with technology is, and they've made it their mission to help them establish good digital habits early on. That's why they've partnered with Screen Sanity, a nonprofit dedicated to helping kids navigate the digital landscape. And for a smarter start to the school year, U.S. Cellular is offering a free basic phone on new eligible lines, providing an alternative to a smartphone for children. Start smarter with U.S. Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to find out more. Terms apply.
Stugotz here for my friends over at Simply Safe. The average break-in lasts 8 to 10 minutes, so fast response is crucial. That's why Simply Safe Home Security launches breakthrough technology, 24/7 live guard protection to help stop crime in real time. Now, Simply Safe professional monitoring agents can actually see, speak to, and deter intruders in your home through the new Smart Alarm wireless indoor camera. What amazing peace of mind. I have been a customer of Simply Safe for years now, and I am telling you, their home alarm systems are the best in the world. Simply Safe's advanced motion detection and vision AI can sense the difference between potential intruders and pets to reduce false alarms. And right now, the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz, our listeners get a special 20% off any Simply Safe system when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. This special offer is for a limited time, so visit simplysafe.com/DLB. That's simplysafe.com/DLB. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Dan Le Batard.
It's the classic first ballot Hall of Famer, the musical fart, okay, where it can be a creaking door, right. It can be an orchestra tuning up before a concert, and the bassoon is a little bit off key, and it comes out like that.
Stugotz.
The musical fart. It's a beauty. It is a beauty. Me. Oh, sorry. Shit.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We not only have Greg Cody here, who doesn't like the idea that he's turning 69 because there's going to be an entire year of jokes, so we won't get to that point yet, but I love the contrast of Greg Cody and Lucy Rodin, who Lucy is, did you just turn 25 or about to turn 25, or am I not allowed to ask that question?
25.
All right.
When was your birthday?
July. You weren't here.
Oh, happy birthday.
Okay.
Do you share a birthday with Billy's new daughter?
When's your daughter's birthday?
July 6th.
Oh, I'm the 12th.
Close. At age 25, there are things that you haven't really done that most of us, well, most of me in my 40s, have done my whole life. And you're having trouble with what these days?
Now, I don't normally feel that young.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, people tell me I'm an old soul, which is very nice, and it makes me feel special.
I think it's the glasses.
Thank you. Those are new, by the way.
It's the thrifting and antiquing and...
Yeah, it's my personality, and that's totally fine. But there are some times where I feel very Gen Z, and I'm in the process of mailing something, and it has been incredibly overwhelming.
Like a letter?
A letter. Birthday card for my friend Sam. And
Just
if she's
writing
listening,
addresses?
I have to write the address. It's
How do you
also,
do it?
Okay, so the name?
Wait, are you left-handed?
No.
Oh.
That
I
would
got
be
excited
cool,
for
though.
that.
Name, the street,
That'll be one of the weirdest
the
parts of the week.
city, and the zip code, but that goes up in the corner. I don't know how many stamps I'm supposed to use.
For a card,
Like,
just
I
one.
don't know the answer.
I think it's just one.
it's just one. I have
First,
to go
how
buy
big is a card?
stamps.
How big is a card?
And small.
And one.
Just
you're
one.
good.
Is it one of those like music playing cards that have like a battery pack in the back?
No, that would be cool.
I believe if it's not good, they send it back to you. And then
I always put two stamps just in case. Even if it's two pieces of paper, two stamps just in case.
If you go to the post
I
office,
do
they'll
that
tell
too.
you what you need to pay in postage, and then they don't even use a stamp. They kind of just print it and then put it on for you. Yeah.
But I already have the stamps. I went and
Did
I
you get
got,
forever stamps years ago like I did?
No, I got stamps. I have Buzz Lightyear stamps.
Nice.
Yeah,
pay
pretty
extra
cool.
for those?
I thought those were awesome. They were expensive.
I'm a bit confused as to where you're going. To the address or to infinity?
And beyond. Nice. But
Crushing it this segment.
yeah, yeah, so it's
Which
been
hand is that you're lifting? Thank you.
my
You want to know why I'm intrigued by left-handedness?
Yeah.
It's because I don't know how you get, or not you, you're not lefty, how they write without like getting their whole hand dirty.
Well,
like
Well,
you
their
just, it's just
handwriting
kind of all
sucks.
tricky. And it's, I know they figured it out because there's been left-handed people forever, but it just intrigues
You
me.
know how in school they had the left-handed desk? Yeah, so like the world, we did this show before, but there was a study done, and the sample is questionable. But the suggestion is that if you're left-handed, you're more likely to die in a tragic, weird accident than you are if you are a righty, because the world was designed by right-handers.
I was just thinking you're more likely to erase the chalkboard as you're writing on the chalkboard. I didn't really think about death.
These Buzz Lightyear stamps are like the human Buzz Lightyear, not the cartoon Buzz Lightyear, or am I looking at the wrong stamps?
What?
Is it Tim Allen on a stamp?
No, it's
Like-
not like Toy Story Buzz Lightyear. It's like Buzz Lightyear from the Lightyear
Buzz Aldrin
movie.
Lightyear.
What a flop that
I
was.
thought it looked like just like Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. I don't know what human Buzz Lightyear is.
Well, they like
new one.
reimagined
Oh,
Buzz
I didn't see
Lightyear.
that.
But even
I
the
heard it was
reimagining, it was still a cartoon.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but he was meant to be a person,
Yeah.
correct? That then Buzz Lightyear, the toy, was based off of.
It wasn't.
Really?
It wasn't Buzz Lightyear without the
Is
whole
it these
fit on.
these green ones?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not a cartoon
That's
Buzz.
hum-
That's a human Buzz.
That's a human Buzz.
No, that's the cartoon.
That's a cartoon human.
Is this really important to the
What?
conversation?
No, I'm very confused. I thought it
Turn
was
around
all
and
a
ask Billy that
cartoon.
question.
I was following along in the story.
What made it difficult so far?
Well, now
Mailing
the
it.
whole Buzz Lightyear is a human cartoon is completely throwing me off.
Well, to be honest, I lost interest when you revealed that you weren't left-handed.
Oh.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine.
man.
I don't know where to put the mail. I don't know how to send it.
I can
Put
relate
it-
to this.
You put it in your mailbox
I
and you
don't
put
have-
that.
but I-
you know the little flag on the side.
I live in an apartment. I don't have a flag.
Well, no, you receive mail.
Wait a second. You guys put up that
mail.
flag every time you put
But I
mail in
don't-
there? I've
You're
never done that in
supposed
my
to.
life.
I do.
For outgoing mail.
Yeah,
That's
for
right.
outgoing
When you have
mail.
outgoing
You
mail.
just figure they're going to open it anyway, so they see what's in there.
But they
Could've
probably
been
think that's
yesterday's
left
mail.
over.
It's yesterday's mail.
Not if it's addressed to some.
The
oh.
flag is a courtesy to the mail
Yeah.
carrier.
But
Like,
I don't have flag.
Hello,
Is
I've
it
got
really-
mail for you.
Is it really that much
is
to
it-
ask to
wait.
look in my box? You're going to be in there anyway.
Is it a courtesy or is it what you're supposed to
It's
do?
what you're supposed
yeah,
to
what
do.
do you mean
Law,
it's not
yeah.
a courtesy?
Yeah.
It's
a
the law,
custom.
yeah.
It is
It's a
the law.
custom. It's customary.
It's just how it works.
Says the man
That's how it
says
goes.
the man who says CBS doctors can't buy houses.
That,
Billy.
I mean,
It is not
I don't
the
make
law.
the rules. I just report them.
So did you lick the envelope closed? Is it a sticker
gotta fold
envelope?
in the envelope, right? We don't lick.
I'll do like a little. No, I do like a little sticker or something because I'm crafty. I have a lot of stickers. Because I haven't seen Seinfeld, but I have seen the episode.
You're crafty. That's actually left-handed behavior. They're better with arts and crafts. Yes.
Is he?
Really? Says who?
That's the thing. They're also
Yeah.
they're also more
Jimmy
likely.
Moyer.
They're also more likely.
Ted Lilly.
No, they're also more likely to be more intelligent than
They
righties.
also supposedly see the basketball rim bent slightly forward so they can be better shooters.
What?
Yep, that's what I've heard.
No, being left-handed is a bit of a hack.
Well, I
If you
can't
wanna
just
die
change
early.
that now. It's been too long. I'm right-handed.
You can-
I'm sorry that
you
I'm
can
not
train-
what you guys
try.
want
You can
me to
train
be.
yourself.
You've never tried.
But I don't
in
think-
fairness,
tried.
you haven't tried.
What would
Like,
be
right with
rad?
my left
You
hand,
could
yeah.
do it. I believe in
What
you.
would be rad is if you are one of these people that train, like in baseball, you see parents.
Lefties
teaching
are
their-
more likely to be lefty specialists
Yeah. They
in
are
baseball too.
Definitely more crafty lefties.
Randy Choate.
It can be a learned behavior.
Never heard that.
It can be a learned behavior, but what would be
Totally.
cool is
Never
if
heard
you
Randy
learn how to be a left-hander, you all of a sudden become more artistic. Like, wow, I'm all of a sudden drawing so much better now.
Yeah, I don't
Is
think
that
that's
true?
That's true.
No, I'm saying, look, guys, follow the conversation.
That's what you
I
tell
can't.
left-handed people so they don't feel like freaks, right? Like, oh yeah, you're more,
I just tell people they'll be more like Kobe Bryant because he was able to use both hands. But Lucy, you can't find where to put the mail?
I don't know how do I get it out?
Where do you get your mail from at your
Mailbox.
complex?
I have a little
a little
park.
key.
Yeah, a little key.
They don't.
There's
don't
not
have
a little slot that
they have
says
a slot for
outgoing mail?
outgoing
See
mail.
one?
No, they have an
Probably
outgoing
is
slot.
one, but I didn't see it.
All right, so
I
like,
looked for it yesterday.
Is there
I
like
walked around the mailroom.
is there an office manager or something you can ask the question to?
Yeah, it was late last night, so I'll probably ask them today. But the problem is that this has been a journey. It shouldn't be this hard to send mail.
Well, I mean, you really should just text her happy birthday,
But
or
it's
him.
not the same. I think a card means a lot more.
It
'Cause she
does.
sends me cards on my birthday, so I have to send her.
yeah, so that's how that works.
What
Yeah,
do you-
if they do it,
Perfect
you
is
have to
delete.
do it
That's
too.
how that
What do
works,
you
though.
do with the cards? How long do you keep the cards before you toss them?
I keep every card anyone's ever written to me
Really?
in a little
Shoebox.
box.
Forever?
Yeah, a little memory box.
You don't want to do that, actually.
I'm young. I don't get that many cards.
Yeah,
You don't want to do that. There's going to be a time where you're like doing some spring cleaning and you're having to make that tough decision of
That's
whether to
the
throw those
thing.
away. Just throw them away from the beginning. You never have to
No,
worry
I
about
like
that.
that.
As
This one
soon
says
as
happy-
Christmas is over, all those cards off my
If
fridge.
it says something nice, or like I'm not keeping every like wedding announcement I get, or like just happy birthday Lucy. But if it's like someone took the time to write something kind, I'm gonna keep it.
But it did the job. You experienced it. It's like rewatching something. It's not going to be the same over and over again, is it?
I mean, if it's a loved one that you may lose soon, then you keep that, I would think.
I think you're all lying. Who are you trying to impress? You chuck them.
No, I always
Right
keep
in the
them.
All right, that was like, oh, very nice, very thoughtful, cool.
It doesn't take away from how much it meant to me. Like, this was
No,
nice.
this was
Thank you
nice.
for this card. But it's clutter now.
No, it's garbage.
I don't
It's
think-
garbage.
It's
Once
in
you
my
experience
brain.
it's
Garbage.
You guys are people that cards don't mean anything to. You just open the card, you look to see if something
You
falls
ever
out.
get one
Yeah.
with
No.
the music,
Yeah.
and that thing is staying open in your house, and
Oh, I
every
love it.
random moment you
Oh,
hear the
love
music
it.
playing? The worst.
I like a
best.
good message in a card, but are you guys going back every month? Let me go read this again. Like, no, you read it, you know the message, garbage.
I actually don't even need the card. I don't want to know what the card
text me.
said. The
Just
card's
text
just
me.
pretty. Just send me a nice message, because what I want to know is what you wrote on the card individually. The card could say anything.
I've had so many cards that the message is, card says it all.
Yeah, that does not
Yeah.
work for me.
I don't
you
mind.
guys, your friends are probably mainly men.
Huh?
And my
you think my male friends are sending me birthday cards?
they're probably
Well, right.
writing
Oh, you're gonna
happy
text, buddy.
birthday Mike or something.
We did. My dad made me feel guilty yesterday. My mom's birthday today, actually. Happy birthday,
Hey,
mom!
happy birthday,
Yesterday, I'm over there seeing her, actually having face to. He's like, "Where's the card?"
Yeah,
Where's
you
your-"
gotta-
I'm like,
you gotta bring a
We
card.
brought her a bottle of wine from Nashville. Like we
Just-
brought her something, and we brought my person. Like I didn't have to write a card. Like, "Hey, mom."
The new birthday
Isn't
card.
that awkward? You sit there, I'm sorry, Mike, you sit there and you stare at the person, read the words that you just said, and get emotional, perhaps, or perhaps not, rather than just being able to tell them those things.
We really don't have to keep this industry alive. It's an outdated concept. What you do is on your IG away message, you just say "Happy birthday, mom," and that's it.
The
Nobody-
card,
yeah, nobody
the card
uses that.
means something. The card means something.
To who?
Particularly to people of a certain age.
Correct.
To me,
There you go.
25-year-olds.
You know,
Gen Z loves them.
to use a random example, your mother's other son gave her a card.
Greg's favorite.
And she was very appreciative. It was he wrote a nice message on the card.
So you're saying a card is better than a nice bottle of wine?
Yes.
But she's
Give me one.
experiencing that bottle of
Yeah,
wine.
give me one.
Behind it.
No.
I was I was there in person, hugging her,
understand.
wishing her a happy birthday,
Right.
and I
When
brought
she's
her a
drinking
gift.
that wine, she's not going to be thinking, "Wow, this isn't as good as the card."
She won't
that other
remember
brother
who gave
got
her the
me."
bottle of wine.
You know what? We're going to
after
lunch
drinking
on
it.
Wednesday. Like, I'm doing things with her.
Oh,
Hey,
I
Mom,
didn't know
let's
that.
go to
That's
lunch.
all right.
this
That's
week.
better than a card.
That's
You're
better
absolved.
than a bottle of wine.
You're
Yeah.
absolved of guilt.
Yeah.
Just, dearest mother, it's just say all the things that you want to say.
No,
Say,
it means
I'm here.
something.
I'm delivering you a birthday card in the form of me actually saying everything that would be
Thanks,
in the card.
Mom, for everything you've done.
I
Like,
wouldn't be
Cards
here
are
without
expensive
you.
too. You're right. They cost $8.
Not if you go to the dollar store. That's the hack. Go to the dollar store. $1
okay.
cards. No one knows the difference.
Despite my
Max.
general demeanor,
Get a Hallmark.
I'm also one
have
of
a
the young
Hallmark
people
section.
here, and I love getting a card because we don't
Not
get
surprising.
any sort of. Well, yeah, all right. So, and that's why I started it the way that I did.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember when people would travel, they would send a postcard.
Yeah.
I want to
Yes.
send my friends postcards.
And it would
You still
show-
do?
I said I want to, but this whole mail
I would
fiasco
love
has
to.
really turned me off.
Yeah.
Of the idea.
Imagine.
I don't know where to put
if
it.
you're having difficulty in your own like complex, imagine trying to figure out how to send a postcard in Greece. You know.
Yeah, that's crazy. You could use a carrier pigeon, Lucy.
That's true.
I remember like my third grade teacher sent me a postcard from South Africa, and by the time
That's weird.
By the time Mrs. Athens, she was a peach, but she was really nice, and she also titled it Master Michael Ryan Ruiz because that's like the young form of Mister. But by the time I got it, I was already 3 weeks into school.
What
And
grade?
It's just like this was third grade.
Who calls their teacher a peach? A third grade teacher.
I think it's a funny way to just reference somebody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was a real gem.
That's
Mrs.
better.
Athens.
That's
Well,
much
I
better.
assume Mrs. Athens is no longer with us. and
Why
she was
is
just
Mrs.
one of my
Athens
favorites.
sending postage internationally to a bunch of third graders?
Yeah.
She was
That's a
really
little
Mrs.
creepy.
Athens was super cool
She was a
because
peach. Yeah, that's
she's a
what.
super
yeah,
cool.
it always
Creepy.
starts
She was
as super cool,
Yeah.
and then
no, she let us watch Jurassic. We were at Westwood, and she let us watch Jurassic Park in the
Oh, the cool
class.
teacher.
Oh, this
She
is
was cool.
weird.
She would show slideshows of her African vacations. I saw like these two lions tearing apart this hippo. It was pretty gnarly for a third grader, especially in like a Baptist school. It's crazy. Mrs. Athens,
Science.
thank you.
Did Mrs. Athens teach at all, or
Yeah, she taught.
Seems like she goes on vacation.
She taught. No, she taught me to enjoy my summertime. Live, laugh, love, master.
Wow. Surprised
That's
a
what she
teacher
said.
could afford a European
I was
vacation.
wondering that too. What else was going on there?
Makes you wonder. Little
This is the
embezzlement.
new and unimproved Dan Le Batard show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.